Hey there, guys. Listen, we are live at FinCon 2023, and we are going to have some fun around money. Is there such a thing as fun around money?
Oh, it is. And
Okay.
FinCon proves that it is
I
every
know
year.
that's right. And we are what they call money nerds. If you're not familiar with FinCon, FinCon is basically where money meets media. So we get to have a chance to talk about money and make it fun.
All day.
Okay?
And nobody gets tired of hearing it.
That's right. So what we're going to talk about today, though, we're really going to talk about managing your money in uncertain times. So how do we do that? A lot of people are having a lot of anxiety around everything that's going on in the world. I mean, we're feeling the impact of inflation. The cost of everything is going up. To buy a car, to buy a home, there's unrest happening all over the world. And you may be wondering, how does this impact me? How is it going to impact me on a day-to-day basis? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to start off by introducing myself. My name is Renee Collins. I'm a CPA, financial planner, and I am also the founder of a company called Retire Ready. And joining me today is going to be Miss Nia, and I'm going to allow her to introduce herself.
So I'm Nia, the Money Moves Motivator. And what I do is I help high achieving women overcome money mistakes and transform their spending habits so that they can achieve financial stability. So when you're thinking about financial stability in the current economic times with everything that's going on, sometimes it can be a little scary. Just being honest.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so what I would say that if you're having some anxiety around everything that's going on in the world today, it's time to get back to the basics of personal finance. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about controlling the things that we can control. That is our mind and our money.
I think one of the first things you got to do is stop and take a breath.
Absolutely.
Stop, breathe. A lot of times that negative thought can just fester and build up inside, and it'll cause you to just start going haywire. Anxiety will build. So you got to stop and take that moment. So like she said, going back to the basics, going back to the foundation of your finances, honestly.
Absolutely, absolutely. And before we went on camera, I was just sharing with Nia that, my personal finances have been impacted by the inflation as well. I live just outside of Chicago. I moved into my home about 3 years ago, and my property taxes doubled. Did you hear me?
Wow.
Doubled.
That's crazy.
Exactly. And see, I live in Cook County, and Cook County taxes are already super high to begin with.
They are.
My mindset right away went directly to the negative. I started thinking, I'm in Cook County. They got these jacked up financial woes, and
they do. Though.
If you know anything about Chicago, we got these crooked pay-to-play politics going on, and all of that has an impact on our property taxes.
It's almost like they play a game to figure out, what else can we tax this year?
Exactly.
Like, let me think of what else I can add a tax to.
Some of the highest taxes in the nation. So I say this because right away, when I opened up my property tax bill, I went directly into that negative energy. But I had to stop. I had to pause. Like you said, take that deep breath.
Yeah, you got to stop and pause.
Right. And I had to tell myself, okay, is this helping my situation? My property taxes are still higher than I want them to be. So I have to change my focus. I have to change my perspective around the way I think about the financial situation, right?
And that's the part, because
absolutely,
when you think about different things, like you said, you can't control what your taxes are going to be. You can appeal them, but at the end of the day, they still have the final word.
Absolutely.
So what you really need to do is start to think about what you're going to do, what changes you can make, what are you going to do to be able to afford them?
Right.
What are you going to go to try to get more income? Are you going to lean out your finances and see where you can make cuts in other places? It's more productive,
right,
to think in that mindset.
Absolutely.
Because just because they went up, maybe your income's going to go up.
Right, exactly. We have to shift our mindset to one that's, like you said, positive.
Yes, you need more positive energy.
Productive,
exactly.
Right? And then the other thing I had to think about was, I need to operate from a place of gratitude. right?
Mhm.
Because in this market, there are people who want to buy a home, but may not necessarily be able to buy a home. There are people who may not have a home and would love to have a place to call home.
So funny that you say that, because I just made a TikTok about that. So shameless plug, my company is called Perspectives. But that is why my company is called Perspectives, because how you use money is based on your perspective.
Right.
You might think like, oh, she's like me, I travel a lot. So, oh my gosh, she must have so much money. No, that's your perspective. You might go out and party every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
The same money you're spending out partying, I'm spending on flights.
Absolutely.
We're just spending money different ways. So the fact that you flick your light and every time you turn that switch, the lights come on, might be lavish to somebody else. But for you, that's normal, and that's how you live your everyday life.
Right.
So it's putting things in perspective can truly help you change how you're thinking about your different money moves. It's very serious.
And I love that, because that can lead right into tracking your money, and I know a lot of people think that, oh, that's not sexy, but
It's very sexy.
yeah, I find tracking my money sexy. Okay, 'cause
Okay,
I want to
right.
know where my money is going.
And if you don't know, then you have a problem.
I know that's
Okay.
right, and you can do this in a number of ways. I mean, I'm a paper and pen type of girl.
I am too.
I know
am
it's
too.
old school.
Yes.
However, what I want to say is that I spend my money twice, right?
Mhm.
So I spend it on paper. And basically what that means is that I will write down what my income is, and then I write down what all of my expenses are, so that I can allocate my money towards the things that matter most to me. Just like the example you gave about perspective.
I like to travel.
So exactly.
But the misconception is like, so for example, I go to Carnival in Trinidad every year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a carnival. So, of course, the flights are more expensive during that time.
Mm-hmm.
The flight coming back from Trinidad was $1,000, just the one-way flight. I end up paying $474 for my flight.
Okay.
Because what I did was, instead of going straight back, I'm going to Antigua.
Okay.
And then from Antigua, I'm going back. Now,
Okay.
even though that's going to two different destinations, it was cheaper than coming straight back, because they're charging, because they know during that time,
Right.
a lot of people from the United States come to Trinidad.
Okay.
So they're capitalizing on that.
Absolutely.
So it does not mean that it's always expensive for me to travel.
Right.
You can go to Miami for $400.
Right. So you just have to figure out your budget, figure out what is really important to you, and then allocate your money accordingly, right? Right.
Because I'm not a partier.
Right.
I'm not a shopper. I'm not really a fashionista.
Right.
I like to go and I like to have experiences and try new cultures. That's what's important to me. So
Absolutely.
when I spend my money, I'm going to prioritize it that way. That's what they say. If you really want to know what's important to somebody,
Look at their
where do
money.
they spend their money?
That's right. Look at their money. Absolutely. And so the other thing I would say is, for someone who may be having some anxieties in this market, we talked about, changing your perspective, having, operating from a position of gratitude, tracking your money and making sure your money is going where you want it to go. And one of the things that clients will often say is that they want an emergency fund, they want financial freedom. Well, when you track your money, that's what it gives you, because now you can figure out, where's my money going and where do I want it to go. Okay.
And I have to do it, but I have to take this back to mindset, because I've had clients tell me that they didn't feel worthy. Like they didn't feel worthy of wealth, or they didn't feel worthy of home ownership. And when they became a homeowner, they were almost in disbelief.
Right.
Even when they had the keys and were walking in the door, because they never felt like struggle was synonymous with their life.
Right.
And that they were never going to accomplish any sort of wealth or even touch it.
Right.
When you think that,
Absolutely.
you're going to manage your money that way, because you don't see wealth as a possibility. You're not going to take active steps towards wealth.
Absolutely.
So you have to start at your mindset to see how you think and feel about money, and start inserting those positive mindsets, positive affirmations to help you start changing how you think and see money.
Absolutely. I would agree with that. And I would even also add journaling.
Oh, that's a good one.
Journaling is also,
I think so too.
Journaling, and then mindfulness, like meditation,
Yes.
controlling your thoughts,
And you'll start to catch the negative things that you say, because a lot of
Exactly.
times you don't realize it.
Right.
You just say them because that's just your nature. That's just
our
how you
habit.
Exactly.
We operate out of habit, but when we can stop pause,
Mhm.
and when those thoughts come into our mind, allow them to come in, have that awareness around them,
Mhm.
and even say, I have conversations with my thoughts.
So that's like in my book. In my book, I talk about budgets, mindsets, and money moves. You know how somebody compliments you on your outfit, and
Right.
your first mindset is like, "Oh, I had this forever," or "Oh, I got this for $2."
Exactly.
Just say thank you.
Right.
Just say
Exactly.
thank you and receive
Yes.
the compliment.
Yes.
Because
Receive it.
even if it is old, we all know that two people can wear the same outfit and it look
Mhm.
completely different. So
Absolutely.
if you're wearing it well, you did that.
That's right. That's
Receive
right.
that.
Receive
Take
it.
the compliment and acknowledge that you did that.
Exactly. And I think that's an important first step too. And just being able to open up your mind is that just receive it.
Yes, just receive
Receive
it.
the compliment.
You
I
don't have to
love that.
explain why it looked good and explain how much it cost, what store you got. You found it 3 years. It was back in the closet. Just say thank you
Absolutely.
and
absolutely.
receive the compliment. Smile.
Yes.
That's it. Thank you and smile.
I love that. So we're going to get ready to wrap up this video. But one of the things that I would say is that, again, if you're having, those feelings of anxiety with everything that's going on in the world, just pause, look around you
Mhm.
and be grateful.
Yes.
Because I think that, there's always something that we can be grateful for.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Would you want
And
to add anything to that, Nia?
the final thing I will say is money management is a form of self-care.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And I love that. Well, guys, listen, we'll catch you next time. But here's coming at you from ThinkCon 2023.
In New Orleans. I got to go get me some food now.
Okay. Some beignets.
Yes.